Just 9 days ago, on February 19th, Sony dropped a huge bombshell, and that is that they're going to be shutting down Bluepoint Games, the studio behind games like Demon's Souls and Shadow of the Colossus remakes. Roughly about 70 developers have lost their jobs to the studio closing its doors, will be losing their jobs to the studio due to the studio closing its doors next month. So the question is this the end of high-quality PlayStation games as we know it? So here's what actually was going on. Sony confirmed the closure on February 19th following an internal business review. The Austin, Texas studio will officially completely close its doors in March of 2026, so sometime after tomorrow. Some reports are pointing to as early, as March, obviously, but I'm guessing to the early part of March, so probably within the first couple of weeks, and about 70 employees are going to be affected. Sony says they're going to help them apply for roles at other PlayStation studios, and this comes only 5 years after Sony bought Bluepoint in 2021. And so we're going to get into this first article here. Sony is shutting down Bluepoint Games, the studio that delivered a number of cherished reissues of games like Demon's Souls, Shadow of the Colossus, and Uncharted. The studio will close its doors next month with the loss of 70 jobs. Sony told the outlet that the decision was made following a recent business review. It acquired the studio back in 2021 after working closely with it for many years on well-received remakes of the company's first-party IP, including God of War Collection, the Ico and Shadow of the Colossus Collection, and Uncharted, the Nathan Drake Collection. In an internal email that was subsequently posted on Restera, PlayStation Studios head Herman Holst said the decision was not made lightly, but the firm was operating at an increasingly challenging industry environment. Saying that rising development costs, slowed industry growth, changing player behavior, and broader economic headwinds are making it harder to build games sustainably. Bluepoint is an incredibly talented team, and their technical expertise has delivered exceptional experiences for the PlayStation community. I want to thank everyone at Bluepoint for their creativity, craftsmanship, and commitment to quality. Where possible, we will work to find opportunities for the impacted employees within our global network of studios. While I know this is hard news to hear, I'm confident in the direction we're headed. Creativity, innovation, and building unforgettable experiences for players remain at the heart of PlayStation Studios. Have a robust roadmap for FY26 with much to look forward to in the months ahead. Bluepoint has recently served as co-developer on 2022's God of War Ragnarok and had been working on a live service title that was canceled in January of 2025. Part of Sony's ongoing retreat from a push into live service games led by then CEO Jim Ryan. At the time of that cancellation, which was also reported by Bloomberg, the company said that Bluepoint was a highly accomplished team and a valued member of the PlayStation Studios family, and is working closely with the studio to determine its next project. So there's a lot of stuff going on between, PlayStation and Xbox. It's actually kind of crazy when you think about it. So Bluepoint was founded in 2006. It became the undisputed kings of modern remakes. Games like Demon's Souls back in 2020, the massive PlayStation 5 launch title, Shadow of the Colossus remake, which was back in 2018, is still praised as one of the best remakes ever. Uncharted, the Nathan Drake Collection, and co-development support on God of War Ragnarok. Fans and critics, they loved the games, their technical mastery, and the deep respect, of the original games that they showed. And so PlayStation pulled the plug after the acquisition. Sony started steering Bluepoint towards a live service God of War game. It was called Atreus in the Hades-style co-op world. That project was that was the one that was canceled back in 2025, back in January of 2025, excuse me. The studio then spent most of 2025 pitching new projects. including a full Bloodborne remake, and Sony thought that the numbers made sense, but From Software was against the idea. They also don't want anyone touching their game. And that's this article here, where it talks about, Bloodborne remake was pitched, but From Software turned them down. An updated Shadow of the Colossus, a Ghost of Tsushima spinoff, and none of those projects were ever actually approved. Employees grew nervous on February 12th when Sony announced the original God of War trilogy remake without involving Bluepoint at all. 1 week later, the shutdown was announced. The insider reasoning was Sony no longer believed Bluepoint was equipped to lead its own game and couldn't find a suitable partnership. A PlayStation spokesperson, Herman Holst, who we read about in the first article, Bluepoint Games is an incredibly talented team, and their technical expertise has delivered exceptional experiences for the PlayStation community. We thank them for their passion, creativity, and craftsmanship. The decision was not made lightly and followed a broader business review amid rising development costs and industry slowdowns. And as of today, February 28th, there is no reversal, and the studio is winding down and will close in the early part of next month, most likely. This is another blow to PlayStation's first-party output of games. It raises serious questions about Sony's remake and remaster strategy that they've been doing, and their live service pivot, and what happens to fan-favorite franchises like Bloodborne moving forward. Many fans are calling this one of Sony's worst decision in years. And honestly, if these games, I haven't played a PlayStation in years, and honestly, if these games are that huge, I don't see why you wouldn't allow them to remake games like Bloodborne. It just seems like the way to go, especially if people love them and are willing to play even the remakes. But anyway, what do you think about what's going on here? Was shutting down Bluepoint a huge mistake, and should they have let them remake Bloodborne like I kind of suggested? Drop your thoughts and comment below. Make sure to like and subscribe for more games updates and gaming industry news, and I'll let you know as I come across things in the future. Have a good day, everybody. Bye.